welcome back to another All About Uni, right? This month of November, we're discussing campus life, the challenges that university students face on campus. And today's challenge, we're discussing the challenge of fitting in. University is such a wide world, right? A variety of people, a large group of people that you meet, people with different backgrounds, people with different cultures,
different thoughts,
different opinions, exactly. So how do you fit in? Where do you draw the line to preserve who you are, and where do you open yourself up to people? And that's what we're going to be discussing on today's show.
And we are not alone.
Yes, we are not alone. We have a panel, a variety of young men and women who are here to share your opinions. Hi, their opinions. So hello everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to All About Uni. So now, all about you, all about uni. You get it, right? It was a play of word, clever one. We love it. Priscilla came up with the idea. So girls and guys, tell us please your names and what you do.
Hi, I'm Debbie and I study sociology.
Hi, I'm Symphonia and I study biochemistry.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth and I study computer science.
Hi, I'm Vanessa and I study law.
Hi, I'm Deji and I study business management and marketing.
Hello, I'm Michael and I studied chemical engineering.
Oh my God, you studied what I studied. I also studied chemical engineering, so I can identify with you. So we have scientists, we have business people,
Very intelligent people here.
Yes, I'm feeling intimidated by the way, guys. It's a good thing today you're doing all the talking, so all eyes on you. So beginning with today's challenge, have you faced this challenge of fitting in, or did you just blend in when you arrived in university?
I can start. I didn't. Do you know what? I went to uni to fit in. So what I did was, it's quite funny, but I went as not myself. So because I study law, everyone's kind of prim and proper. Everyone's really, they look intelligent. They act a certain way, and everyone at my uni looked like that and was like that. So that's how I went, and I fit in with everyone. But I mean, people didn't want to speak to me though. People didn't want to get to know me. People didn't want to be my friends because everyone was like the same, so it was kind of awkward to go and speak to someone because they already looked like they were like prestige, they were higher, and I'm not that kind of person. I'm really cool and down to earth. So that's how it was at the beginning. So it was really hard for me to make friends, really hard for me to be myself and to be cool. So I found it hard to fit in.
So what about others of you? Do you also face this challenge? Yeah.
Yes, especially me because I'm a bit socially awkward around people I don't know.
What do you mean socially awkward?
I don't know, I find it a bit weird just to talk to people like that. But once I get to know you, I'm cool with you.
You're cool with me.
And so the first lecture we had like a group. They put us into group to do like a group work, like a small project. And the people that I was with, they all smoked weed. So before the lesson, they would go outside and smoke weed. And because I didn't do it, it was like, I felt as though it was something to push me away again. So I wasn't fitting in, first of all, because I was a bit intimidated to speak to others. And then because everyone was smoking weed and I wasn't doing it, it wasn't anything that I could kind of speak to them about, because they would have like these trips. And when they all smoke weed, they're all high, so they all talk about something. And I couldn't understand what they're talking about. And so it was just like, okay, I'm just the outsider again.
Did they try and invite you though to
No, they did. And because they know my faith, they were trying to kind of mix my faith, like, no, it's just herbs, like it's nothing wrong with it. And I was like, no.
Just garden herbs. Nothing much. Addictive herbs.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So any of you face other challenges?
I lived on campus and one of the ways that people usually fit in and get to know each other is by drinking, getting drunk and going out and partying and all that kind of stuff. And that was the case for all of my housemates, but not me. I lived opposite the kitchen, so I'd always hear them pre-drinking and, they would knock for me at first, but I really just had to stand my ground, and I had to find my friends in alternative ways and find different ways to try and fit in.
It's a big challenge, right, to fit in, because as they were saying, I remember when I start uni, I would feel a bit awkward, as if everyone was right and I was wrong. There was something wrong with me. So as I was telling before, my uni was in the evening, so sometimes Friday night we had a break and they would, let's go and socialize and have a drink, and I was like, no, thank thank you. But I want to get to know people, but it was very hard. And sometimes maybe you went through that. How far is too far? You know, when is the time to go and when is the time to stop? So this is a big challenge as well, right? Especially for those who live by themselves and they have to decide what to do. I believe it's a big challenge. Yeah.
It is, especially because nobody likes to be alone, right?
Yeah, I can relate to that. I had really similar experiences with that. I mean, there was always that peer pressure of going out and drinking and clubbing and partying. And I mean, at the beginning it was a bit difficult. It was like, it was a clash. So there were times, I think 2 or 3 times I went with them. I would say, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing anything, I'm just being around them. But then I really felt like out of my place. I mean, I don't belong here. So that was one of my first challenges, was like to accept that environment was not ideal for my faith, for my beliefs and stuff. So I mean, yeah. So in the beginning there was those
what
situations.
You mentioned is a similar experience that I faced, because it's really hard to draw the line and know exactly where the boundaries are, right? So certain times we have to experiment. So I also experimented when I got to uni, because I didn't want to be like an island. I didn't want to be isolated, and also because I wanted to be able to expose my faith to other people. So I remember that I would be very, very friendly with everyone. I would be with everyone. I mean, guys and girls, but the guys would take advantage, because when a girl is friendly to a guy, it means something. With me, it just meant that I'm being polite. So I would be like, hi, how are you? And so what are you doing? Every time that we had to do group studies and group work, and we were put in each other's presence. So I would be nice and polite, but then it would open up to flirting, because I'd always get a comment that I wasn't expecting thrown at me. And so knowing exactly where to draw the line was really hard. Sometimes, as you've mentioned, you would go a little bit far, go into that environment, expose yourself to it, and think, maybe I shouldn't be here. And at times you would hold back and not really be able to expose your faith or to share your faith with other people. So where do you draw the line? Well, we're going to be answering that question after this break.
Be a leader, not a follower. Inspire others to walk in your footsteps.
And we're back, and the question is, where do you draw the line when you are around different kinds of people, right? So how much of yourself do you open up? How much do you expose yourself, and how much do you hold back in order to protect your beliefs and your principles? And that's what our panel is going to answer. Today, I love it. We don't have to say much, right? Yeah. So guys, what was your name again, please?
I'm Deji.
Deji. So Deji, you were saying that you have an experience to share with us. Please go on.
So yeah, when I first came to uni, just like Debbie was saying, we go to the same university. So everybody likes to drink. And so the first thing they do is they invite you to a rave or a drink up. So come and drink with us. And then you say, no, I don't drink. Then the first question they ask you is why? And then I say, oh, no, because I don't like drinking. So at first, it's almost like I was hiding myself.
Yeah.
And then when you say, you know, it's for religious reasons and because I just don't like it, eventually they have to accommodate you. And then what you need to find is common ground between yourselves, because I didn't want to be an alien. Yes. Everybody would go out and I'll be alone in my room, but we had to find a common ground. And we found a common ground in playing football together and also playing video games. But then my past is of video games. I used to be really addicted to video games before. And so in my first year of uni, I was really playing games with them all the time. You know, we spent 3 hours at a time playing games. And it got to a point where I was like, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. Do I need to be playing games with these people? I know we're friends and I'm trying to gel with them together. You know, okay, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing anything wrong. But then I realized my time was going. And for me, one of the most important things in my life is time. And I used to spend so much time playing games with them that I realized, you know what, I need to start cutting it down. And so then that's when I started to draw the line. Maybe if I wanted to play with them, maybe an hour maximum. And then, you know what, guys, I have to go and do work. Or if I knew a lot of people were there today, I'm not going to play with you because we will spend 4 or 5 hours at a time. So it's all about knowing yourself, and it's almost like having your own morals, saying, you know what, I can't and I can, especially when it's something that is not wrong per se. So you need to find your own morals in that, because, you know, no one can tell you, oh, no, how long to spend. It's just about how you know yourself.
So how do you find that balance, guys? How do you find the balance?
Well, my experience is quite different to everyone's. Normally, like Lizzie was saying, I'm a socially awkward person as well. If you know me, I'm a very loud person. Like, I'm like bubbly.
Welcome to the club.
But when I'm around like new people that I don't know, somehow I just like become like, I don't know, it's like I'm a statue and I'm just there like, and I don't want to speak, and I'm just there, and they believe that like this girl's so quiet, she doesn't. So when I first joined uni, like no one ever believes that I study science, because I'm not a person. I believe I don't look smart.
You don't have the profile.
So when I was in the class, like everyone in the class would just be looking at me like, let's help her, like let's bring her in because she's alone. Like, so instead of me trying to get to them, they were trying to like say, oh, it's okay, like you can come and study with me in the library. But then because in the past my personality is like a open personality, so I'm easily clickable with other people. So I was kind of scared, so I didn't want other people to kind of sway me away from what I believe. So I didn't want to speak, so I didn't want my personality to show, and that was the mistake I made. So because I did that, I didn't have no friends whatsoever. So especially in science, we do loads of lab assignments and stuff like that. So the whole class will be taking all their books to all their friends, and I'll just be there, and the professor will be like, oh, you know, you have to work in pairs. But then no one would want to work with me because they believed that I wasn't fun.
So you took it to the other extreme, where you completely isolated yourself and therefore couldn't integrate in the group, right? Yeah. And that's what we see. It's kind of hard to find that middle ground, that comfortable middle ground. We either take it to the one extreme where we isolate ourselves, or we try and fit in and we end up fitting in too much, like spending 5 hours playing video games. So how do you find the right balance? People who are watching and are going through this conflict inside of them and are asking themselves this question, where do you find the balance, guys?
I would say that it's in setting yourself goals, because we all do different subjects, but you know what you need to do. My subject requires a lot of reading, so I know like, okay, I need to spend X amount of time doing it, or I'm not going to catch up. So I think it's knowing when to say no, like Deji was saying. It's just about, okay, is it going to be 1 hour I'm going to spend with them, or am I going to just let myself be free and use up all my time? And you know, that's not going to be good. So I would definitely say it's about scheduling your time and just knowing where your strengths and your weaknesses lie and working on it. And that's the way you're going to be able to not overcross the boundaries.
Yeah, and I also think it's about being yourself, because when you're yourself, people know how you are. So if you say no to something and that you stand by it, no one is going to try to turn you otherwise, because they know that's what you're about. So then, you know, those that, you know, are good to be friends are the ones that will respect that and stay with you. But those that are not good for you, they'll go away and they'll find somebody else to influence or something like that. So I think it's just about you being yourself. If you're friendly, like, be friendly. Don't put yourself in a bubble, because then you just become weird and awkward, and like, you know, people will learn from you. I think that's what's really good about being yourself and being in uni. So yeah, just be yourself.
Sorry, kind of like what Vanessa's saying about being yourself. I noticed that when I was myself, my group understood that they could only be around me when they're sober, because that's the only time they'll be able to do the work. So they understood that they can't have like a spliff, could you call it a spliff, before they come into into class. We won't be able to do any work, because it'll be like they're on another wavelength and I'm on another one. So they would come to class sober, and then when class was finished, then they would go do whatever they wanted to do, because I wouldn't spend that time with them. That was something that they enjoyed to do. So that was our boundary. So before, they don't smoke, and then after, they can do whatever they like, so that we can be able to progress.
Michael. Oh, I thought you wanted to say something.
No, yeah,
Put you on the spot there.
That's just, I agree with them, with everything was said. And one thing that was really important for me, it was when I actually showed them, I conveyed to them my testimony. I mean, I used to be one of the best students in class. I used to have the highest grades, marks, and I would give tutorials to those students that had some difficulties in maths, calculus and stuff. So they started to even get curious about my faith, start to admire me by the things I would say, and some willingly even came to church, and because they wanted to know it better.
Because they were impressed.
Yeah, because they were impressed. I mean, how could you do that? I mean, so yeah, so that's a good way of keeping their respect and keeping your faith at the same time.
Right.
So,
and we're actually at the end of the program. So that's it, guys. I mean, Raquel, I think the idea is for them to set boundaries, right?
Yeah.
If you want to fit in, you first have to know your boundary. You know, it's kind of like a Tetris. Tetris, I'm gonna draw your mind to Tetris, right? In order for you to fit in, the piece needs to have a clear shape so that it knows where to fit in. And that's exactly it. If you don't have boundaries, if you don't set yourself a boundary, if you don't say this is as far as I go and make it obvious to everybody else, then it's going to be very hard for them to fit into you and for you to fit in with you, because they don't know where that boundary lies.
You see that they don't need to be afraid. Maybe those who are especially starting now, they're maybe a bit afraid. Like me, I remember I was very afraid to start. But we see that it's a wonderful opportunity for you to get to know people, for you to grow, to develop yourself. But you just need to have this balance. Once you have this balance and you set up your boundaries, no, this is where I can go, and you let people see, not maybe telling everyone, but showing through the way you are. People will respect you, and I'm sure you're gonna get the best out of it.
And we don't always have to know everything. College is about trial and error, unfortunately. Sometimes you are gonna find that you have set your boundary too far out, and that you need to bring your boundary in, because your boundary opens up like you like Deji, sorry. Like Deji said, he found that 5 hours was just too much, so he needed to bring it back to 1 hour. Sometimes you are gonna go far. Don't be afraid to pull back that boundary. Don't say, oh, now they're used to me being with them 5 hours. What are they gonna say now if I pull up? You are the one who teaches people how to treat you. You teach people how to respect you. And if you don't respect your own self, if you feel uncomfortable and you don't respect yourself enough to correct that, then how can you expect other people to respect you? So it's all about setting boundaries, respecting yourself, following through with the boundaries that you set, and leading others to do the same, right?
That's it.
And next week we're back with another challenge. That's it, guys, for now. It has been fun as always. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's great to have all of you. So bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.